My name is Kiara Kroll, and today I'm going to be presenting my portfolio to you. So, moving on to the About Me page. As you know, my name is Kiara Kroll, and I am studying fashion merchandising and retailing at Johnson & Wales University. I have been blessed with the opportunity to showcase my advanced skills through designing and styling for fashion shows within the Fashion Society Club. I have been able to learn more about the fashion industry by taking fashion forecasting, textiles, and visual merchandising classes. While I continue my journey in the fashion industry, I hope to venture into more opportunities to develop my skills more. In the future, I plan to become a fashion merchandiser and a stylist for a luxury streetwear brand while being able to create and start my own. In my spare time, I enjoy creating canvas paintings and upcycling clothes. Although my passion is streetwear fashion, I love vintage, luxury, and avant-garde fashion. So moving on to my projects. So in this section, you will be able to explore some of the projects I have completed during my time in the fashion program at Johnson & Wales University. These major projects that I have listed on this page have helped me expand my knowledge on how to operate my own business, as well as learning what's trending in the fashion world. So just to give a quick overview, here's one of the projects that I had to complete. It was for my fashion forecasting class, and basically we had to create a fashion forecasting book based on spring summer 21. And so for the brands, we basically had to come up with our own pretty much brand label and just like create a whole thing like what we think that will be trending in 2021. So we have to create like a mood board. So this is how my mood board looked. And then we had to do a collage figure. And basically we had to take the stuff from my mood board and put it onto clothing to show like how the different colors and prints and textures match and go well with each other. Then we did the colors, and this is my color palette for what colors I think will be trending in spring summer 21. Then here's some prints. And then for fabrics, I did the textured snake skin, iridescent, satin, denim, and some metallics. Moving on to the details, trims, and accessories, I did fringe, patchwork, puffy sleeves, and contrast stitching. Also utility pockets, corsets, and then for my looks, for this section, we had to take a flat and basically transform it, show like a actual 3D piece, like an actual version of it on a person, and then we had to compare it with the flat. And this is just moving on in the categories that I had. And this, like, everything that you're seeing on this trending forecasting book is everything that I would consider for my brand, which is Vibe Central. One second. So continue on to my next project. I had event promotion. So basically, with this project, we had to create our own pretty much fashion show. But it was a fashion show, but it also was basically like a grand opening for our store as well. So basically, here's like the table of contents. We had to include where we would have the location for the store, our layout, our guest profile, the theme, the advertising, displays, budget, and team responsibilities. So I gave a little insight of what my brand represents, which incorporates vintage, athleisure, workwear, and skater fashion into one. And the goal is to appeal to every audience that loves to rock the latest streetwear fashions. So for my store location, I decided to do Brooklyn, New York. And then here's my store layout for where I would want everything located. Then here's my layout to get like a kind of a visual insight of how I would want my stores to look. So as you know, like with my brand, it's more colorful, but like more calm as well. So, and then we had to do an executive summary and also mention like we had to do with a nonprofit, like where would our sales go to? And I chose to do mine with Brooklyn Arts Council. So we did a guest profile, and this basically just shows like who I'm appealing to with my brand. And then here was the event theme. And then just give more of an insight of the nonprofit that I chose. Yeah, advertising. This is how I would do my advertising to get the news out that I'm having a grand opening for my store. And then here's the example of what my flyer would look like. And then here's some interior display, the stuff I would have out in catering and DJs. Then the exterior would be like ribbon cutting, confetti popping. And then here's the agenda. This basically, we have to create an agenda how everything will go basically for that day, like what time everything needs to work for this to be possible. And then here's my budget outline. The budget had to be $5,000, and for my total, it was only $3,144.65. And then here's some of the team duties of what everyone needed to do. And then my resources. So moving on to the next project, which was retail solutions. So for this project, we basically had to show what companies we could use to get stuff for our business. So here's some stuff for like the sales, the logistics, communications, branding, and the vendors, and Ghost Mannequin platforms. So moving on to the next project, which was the current event project. And I did mine based on the company Urban Outfitters. And for this project, we basically had to go in and see how their sales were over the years. And this project focuses on the year 2016. And you see their net sales, the cost of goods sold, the gross margin, operating expenses, and the profit and loss they have also focuses on the year 2017 with the same thing. As you can see, they were better in 2016 as compared to 2017. And then here's just a compare and contrast of what was going on. And then we had to pretty much like find something that we were interested in. And I chose fashion assistant. And then here's an example of my resume. So moving on to the next project, it was the history of fashion. So in this project, each week we focus on a certain article, well, piece of clothing, and we have to compare it to how much this piece of clothing has changed over the years. So I did mine on like the history of miniskirt, which originated in 1960s. Well, you could really pretty much see it being worn a lot in the 1960s. So I did mine from the 1960s to 2018. As you can see, it's still pretty much the same. The history of the tube top, which originated in the 1970s and then compared to the 2018. Then I did the history of the platform heel, which came from the 1970s to 2018. As you can see, it's pretty much still the same type of silhouette and everything, even with the bright colors and the funky styles. Next, I did the history of the chunky sneakers, aka the dad sneakers. And as you can see, like they pretty much made a huge comeback over the course of the years, because like it kind of died, but now it's just everyone's creating them, even the top fashion brands like Balenciaga, Gucci, and Chanel. The next one is the history of the puffer coats, which came from the 1930s. And here's like pictures of now. And as you can see, it definitely has changed over the years. And then I did the history of cycling shorts, aka the biker shorts, which definitely made a huge comeback. And they were popular in the 1970s and the 1980s, but they ended up making a huge comeback to where you started seeing it with a lot of sporty clothing pieces, especially in the streetwear industry. So that's pretty much it for my projects that I have so far. So pretty much every project that you've seen kind of represents more of my brand that I want to create, because my focus is to create a brand that's in the streetwear industry. So moving on to my professional experience. So for my professional experience, throughout my attendance at Johnson & Wales University, I have had opportunities to work with major retailers and companies such as the Hornets, Forever 21, and Joann's Fabric and Crafts. So also I was able to be a fashion designer / stylist for my Fashion Society Club at Johnson & Wales, Charlotte. These experiences expanded my career in fashion by providing me the opportunities of learning about visual merchandising, retailing, and the production of apparel. Also, it expanded my knowledge in textiles. So to focus on the three companies I don't work for, Joann's, I was able to gain more knowledge in textiles because it's a lot of fabrics and different fabrics, and you have to know like how each fabric work and how the certain ways you have to cut it. So I definitely was able to like learn a lot working at Joann's. With Forever 21, I was able to learn a little bit more about visual merchandising with the mannequins and display, but I also was able to learn how these not top fashion brands, but fast fashion brands work with new inventory and how we are able to run the stores. The last job I worked at was the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm also currently still working for them. This job has been like probably one of the best jobs I had as in retail because there you see a lot of demand in this job because of the jerseys specifically with the certain players like during the season last year there was a high demand for Devontae Graham's jersey. That's all people would ever ask for, but I think this job right here provided me with a lot of retail experience because not only even though it wasn't my particular field because I love streetwear fashion, it was I was able to see how the production works behind the scenes, as in getting new product, stocking, the inventory, all that. So I also included some of my a little bit more to add to my portfolio, my fashion shows, which was in the spring and winter of 2018. So this fashion show was from 2018. We had to create 2 looks and then style 2 more looks. So the ones that's located on the left, the jeans that's located on the left and also the top, I created those. I'm a huge fan of hand painting and doing like handmade clothing. So this a little we had to do ours based on the zodiac sign. So I got Aries and Gemini. And then on the right, it's just a few pieces that I styled. And then here's just a better picture of how the actual jeans look. The next picture was from the spring 2018 fashion show, and our color was blue. My brand, well, my whole design label thing was called. My theme was pretty much Project Blue. So I incorporated lots of golds and light blues, royal blues, pretty much any type of blue, like navy blue as well. And I wanted to create more like streetwear, as you can see, like even with the white flaming jeans and the other pic that use a lot of geometric shapes. And then I really was into like the butterflies and roses. And so I just tried to create something that like kind of fit in to the whole theme of Project Blue. So the next thing that I included was my custom jeans custom creations that I have made over the years. So these are just some of the jeans that I have made for clients as well as myself. And I also have made jeans for like businesses and brands. I also have made jackets as well. And then here's a little dress that I made for a birthday party. So for my contact page, the best ways that you can get in contact with me is between LinkedIn and also Instagram. And then here's an example of my resume for you. Here's some of my qualifications. I have a lot of experience in the retail industry. Here's some of my work experiences, as well as my affiliations and where I have volunteered, and my interests and activities. And then here's my LinkedIn profile. And I just list some of the stuff that I have learned so far over the years in my jobs as well, and some of my skills and endorsements and my interests. And then my Instagram also features more of my creations that I have created over the years. So overall, this is my portfolio. I hope you enjoyed listening to all my professional experiences in my projects and knowing a little bit more about me. Thank you.